name is Jacob Chandler. I'm 5'8", and during the shoot of this video, I was around 195 pounds.
Okay, buddy.
Just doing
And now this was off season. What were your shows last year that you did?
I did the Natural Michigan, the NPC Nicole Wilkins Classic / Natural Michigan, and then I did the Teen Nationals that year as well.
Okay, and how did you do those shows, buddy?
I took first place in the men's middleweight for the Natural Michigan, and then I took third place at the middleweights for Teen Nationals.
For Teen Nationals. Okay, and this day it was kind of like an overall workout. I think it was arms mainly, though. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about the workout and the movements and what you like about each movement, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I usually, whenever I train arms, I try to superset bis and tris. So I'll start off with, a set of triceps and then move right into a set of biceps and then rest. And then after the set after that, I'll start with biceps and then move right into a set of triceps. I'll just try to superset them back to back to really get a pump going. I usually warm up with single arm cable movements. I just feel like I can focus more on the muscle and really get the blood pump into it. And then I'll move on to like dumbbells and other weighted exercise like that. But I always try to start with some single arm cable, tricep extensions and just normal cable curls.
Okay. And what do you move on to after that, then?
I moved on to hammer curls with single arm tricep extensions. Again, supersetting the two. I try to pick a weight that I can use for both the workouts. I think I grabbed 35s or 40 pounds, and then I would just do superset, hit the hammers, and then as soon as I'm done, drop one of the dumbbells and pop it up and crank out the single arm tricep extensions.
Okay. Yeah, and I know this was kind of different. We were training at Ken Jackson's gym, so this wasn't your own gym, so it was probably a little different for you. Do you usually use pulleys and free weights, bud, or do you combo it?
Yeah, I usually try to do a good combination of the two. Like I said, I usually start off with cables, and then I move into either a close grip bench or some dumbbells for bis and tris, and then I end up finishing back with cables. So I start with cables, move on to free weights, and then come back to cables and machines towards the end of my workout to just finish it off with some high reps.
Okay. And what's the point of that, bud? Is that just for what's your theory behind that? Was coming back to cables?
Well, I figure out, my first thing is, injury prevention. If I'm going to be doing heavier weights with free weights, I want to make sure my muscles are fully warmed up, that there's blood flowing through them, that my joints are loose, so I can hit the heavier weight. And then I like finishing off with it at the end because I always try to get a good burn towards the end of my workout and pump out some high reps, get some more detailing workouts in, other than just trying to throw around as much weight as I can.
I gotcha. Okay, and what did you do after the dumbbell curls, bud?
After the dumbbell curls, I believe I did tricep extensions with a rope, supersetted with rope curls at the same time. Just, same idea, just supersetting them back and forth. Like you said, I wasn't in my home gym, so I wasn't able to do most of the stuff I like, but I was still able. I mean, any gym I go into, I could pretty much make do with what they got. You just got to be smart about it and just try to figure out something that's going to replicate each movement that you would normally do.
And okay, good deal. And I think did you do anything else there? I think you might have done some dips, but I don't know if we got them in the video actually. But
oh yeah, I did finish off with dips to burn out at the end, and I also did preacher curls with just normal reverse tricep pull downs.
Okay.
And that was the same idea as I was just with the reverse ones, I was trying to replicate almost like a close grip bench type deal, but we didn't have any there, so I just worked with that, and the same type of motion. It hits the muscle all the same, so it worked out.
Okay, good deal. What are your plans for next year, bud?
I plan on doing the Natural Michigan at the end of next year. I took this summer off, actually. I was focusing on trying to work as much as possible and, get some school credits in over the summer and just get ahead in schooling for the time being. And then next summer I was going to have, since I was working so hard this summer, next summer I was going to have some more time, and I was going to try to do the Natural Michigan one more time and hopefully this time take the middleweights and the overall.
Okay, good deal. And then would you do, because how old are you now, bud?
In the video I was 20, and I'm still 20 now, but I'll be 21 by then.
Okay, are you thinking about doing like collegiate nationals or anything next year, or no, not sure?
Yeah, I have thought about it, but I still have to see how work schedule works out and everything. I'll be starting an internship next summer too, which it'll be a lot easier than my current job right now. It'll be more desk work and not working outside, so I'll still have a lot more energy. So it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, because you're a full-time student at Michigan State University, right?
Yeah, so full-time student, and then in the summer I take 4 credits, and then I also work a full-time job.
Okay, well, being a Michigan fan, I won't hold that against you, buddy. But
All right.
good deal, man. What are you majoring in?
Right now I'm majoring in supply chain management. I was originally a medical major. I took a couple chemistry classes, a couple biology classes, and I just really realized it wasn't for me. I liked learning about the body and all that on my own time, and I didn't want to, have to be graded on it. I like just reading about it on my own spare time. And then business just really interests me because I always wanted to open up my own business, and State happened to be the #1 school for supply chain management in the nation, and I happened to be going there, so it all worked out. And the subject actually started to really interest me once I took major specific classes.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, sometimes I started off as a psychology major and ended up switching over to criminal justice. So sometimes you start taking courses or you'll take an elective and it kind of just grabs your interest and kind of pulls you towards that.
Exactly.
What's your diet like, bud, as off season as opposed to when you're like prepping for a show and stuff?
Well, off season I try to eat a lot compared to just chicken and fish when I'm dieting. I try to eat more red meats, a lot of beef, a lot of steak. As much as I can get my hands on. Obviously, the carbs are a lot higher and coming from different sources. While I'm dieting, I try to stick to rice and oatmeal, and even phase out oatmeal towards the end of my diet. But when I'm bulking, I try to eat a lot more, probably about 300 grams more carbs a day, with a lot more oatmeal. Sometimes white rice, pasta, pretty much wherever I can get the carbs. I'm just trying to put on more weight than I usually have. And my diet's a lot cleaner while I'm dieting too. I don't worry when I'm bulking. I don't worry too much about the fat content and the high carb content. I try to get in as much food as possible at the time. But I mean, we're still in reasonable amount. I'm not just splurge eating and eating everything instead. I still make sure that my food's coming from a good, healthy source.
Yeah, because I was gonna say this was off season, and what did you say you were weighing again when we filmed?
About 195 to 200, if I remember correctly.
Okay, and I mean you're still pretty lean. I wouldn't say your body fat percentage is that high or anything, so you must stay pretty lean year round. So.
Yeah, I don't. To be in between shows and comps, maybe 20 pounds absolute tops. Some being water, some being fat. I hold a lot more fat in my legs, and my upper body doesn't really put on too much fat throughout the off season.
Good deal. What got you into the industry, bud, or what really did you like about the sport that kind of drove you towards it?
Well, I actually I had a back injury when I was playing football in 8th grade and 9th grade. I injured my back pretty severely from L3 to L5. I screwed up my disc pretty bad to the point that I was told I could never play football again. And after a bunch of rehab and a bunch of going to the chiropractor, just trying to figure out what's wrong, I ended up being told that I couldn't play football anymore and that I could still work out. So it kind of took off from there. I started working out all the time to compensate for not being able to play football. Being an athlete, I always had to be active and do something. And after about 2 or 3 years of training, it was actually my grandmother who a long time ago used to do competition. She decided, she was like, why don't you give this a shot? It's just a local show, just a local natural show. What do you got to lose? You already work hard as it is. So I went and gave it a shot when I was 17, and I placed first. And that the feeling was great to see all that hard work pay off. So I guess I was hooked after that.
Oh, good deal, man. Your grandmother competed then?
Yes, well, way back, I don't want to say 50s or 60s. She was doing, I believe, I'm not sure if it was bikini or bodybuilding. It was a long time ago. She doesn't like to talk too much about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, good for her. That's cool, though. So that's neat that she actually recommended. Now, how's your family, bud? Is everyone really supportive about you competing and everything, like the parents and everything?
Oh yeah, definitely. My mom and my dad help more than I could imagine. I mean, even when it comes to travel, they help me pay for travel expenses. My mom, if I'm running late for work, this and that, she'll help prep my meals, help cook my chicken. I'm still doing most of the cooking and stuff, but if I'm running around with work and school and I'm busy, I can ask her to cook up some chicken for me, and she helps me out with that. She comes to my mom and dad and my sister come to all my shows. My girlfriend comes to my shows. They're very supportive throughout the whole process. Even when I start dieting and I get moody because I'm not eating as much food, they just kind of put up with it, and they know that it's going to be over in 8 weeks.
Oh, good deal. What's it like? Because I assume, well, when you're prepping for shows, you're probably not on campus. But what's it like trying to, as being a former college student, eating clean on campus? Is that hard, buddy? Or?
During my freshman year, it was more difficult because I was eating in the cafeterias and living in the dorms, so you really couldn't choose what food you wanted to eat. You kind of had to make do with what they were serving. I always talked to the chefs there and tried to make sure there was always chicken available, or some type of meat and some type of clean carb source. But during my sophomore year, I was actually living in a house with 3 other people that also, they're just into the fitness and bodybuilding and all that. So it wasn't too bad. We would cook up 4 or 5 pounds of chicken for dinner and cook up a bunch of pasta or a bunch of rice, and we were pretty much able to eat whatever we wanted. But it had to be when I moved into my own house versus living in the dorms.
Yeah, I can imagine dorm cafeteria food, if I remember, isn't that nutritious for you.
Yeah, even the grilled chicken, was soaked. You'd get the grilled chicken, it'd be soaked in grease.
Yeah. Well, bud, yeah, I mean, you look great. We're going to do another video here soon when you're at the peak of your off season. But what are your goals for next year, bud? What are you looking to put on during your off season?
I'm hoping to put on, a good, I'd say 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, if that's reasonable. I'll hopefully get up to around 205, 210 at the very most, and maybe cut back and go into the light heavies instead of middleweight. But we'll have to wait and see how everything pans out.
Okay, man. Well, best of luck to you. We'll definitely keep in touch and keep pushing hard with school and your training, man. And hope everything goes well for you. You look great, bud. So.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool, man. Well, that was good. We timed that pretty well, so that worked well.
Yeah, we did actually.
I was surprised. It usually never works out like that. So.
That was good on both our parts.